Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? Happy Monday. Was the Monday mood, as it's saying? No, it's a long week. It's always the Monday. It's like, you just got that long road ahead for the next weekend now. But you'll plow right through it, guys. And it's going to be a very busy weekend for a very busy week and weekend for me, believe it or not. I have a lot coming up for you guys. And also, if you guys are interested, I will be hanging out in the Discord after the show as well. So if anybody wants to come and hang out and talk about whatever, you're more than welcome to join the Discord community as well, because I'll be trying to do that every Monday. I'm going to try to keep to it every Monday, at least for you guys. And I'll also be doing an additional one on Wednesday night as well. So you guys are more than welcome to join me for that. So welcome to Snowflake Viewpoint, episode 86, where we cover some of the news, some of the latest news in the UK. The date and time of this is the 13th of January 2025 at 8 p.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite, and we are also on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. So if you're on Twitch there, hello, don't be afraid to hit the follow button and follow on there. I'm just going to make sure this is up properly. There we go, just so I can see you guys in the Twitch chat as well. So don't be shy to say hello over there as well. We've got 6 different stories, but I've got an additional one that I haven't highlighted for you guys that I think is worth talking about a little bit as well. So let's see who we got in the chat. Madmont33, thank you for pinging the Discord communities. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And good to see you too, Dave McGuinness there. Sitting waiting for tonight's contribution. What's going to cause mainstream media people? No worries, buddy. No worries, buddy. Yeah. It's good to see a great shows. I did manage to catch the 4 o'clock. Did catch the show at 4 o'clock, despite me recording more than 20 videos today. So, anyways, Joe Lefty, good to see you there as well. Yeah, do check out the Two Davies YouTube channel if you haven't already, guys. Really, really great stuff there. Doing the morning paper review every Monday to Friday at 10:30 a.m. Do check that out, guys. Definitely good stuff there as well. And don't be late for it. Otherwise, he'll put you on the naughty step. You really don't want to do that. That'll be really, really bad for you guys. So I'm going to start with this one here first here. Good morning, Steve McMahon over in New Zealand. Hope you're doing well, buddy. I want to start with this one here from the BBC that I came across just before we come on. It's really interesting. I mean, I don't know where this has kind of come from. Well, I do, but the Chancellor will remain for all of Parliament, Downing Street says. Chancellor Rachel Reeves will remain for a role for the whole of this Parliament, Downing Street has said, as she faces criticism over a falling pound and rising government borrowing costs. Yeah, so I'm not an economic expert, so obviously I've been taking the lead off Gary Stevenson, that's Gary Economics YouTube channel, and No Justice MTG on a bit of an understanding of economics. And basically the logistics is that although it hasn't happened straight away directly after the budget, the reactions, what is seemingly happening here is that the rise in government borrowing, the cost of it, or the interest in it, I think is, if correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I believe is going up, and as a result, basically means the physical rules that the Chancellor imposed on herself is not going to work. So she's going to have to make drastic measures, and the drastic measures seems to be cutting the disabled. Which is what I believe the Telegraph or the Times, one of them had reported, which is something the Conservatives were doing, and Labour had called it outrageous at the time. And yet here we are to talk about cutting. It seems apparent to me that we are going towards austerity here, because we know that this Labour government will not tax the rich, even though that is the solution to a lot of this that will help drive it down. You know, all the money is there. The big pile of gold, big pile of money sitting on the table in front of them is there from the rich and the wealthy. But we know they're not going to do that. So I don't know if the Chancellor is going to. I just don't like. I understand many people are already calling for the Chancellor's head. I don't think that's right to call it just yet. I think we should wait to see what the spring report comes. People are saying already calling for a budget. I'm like, no. I get the criticism of the budget, and I'm totally in agreement with you guys. I think we should wait to see what the spring report from the Chancellor brings, see what comes to the table there, see what measures that she will impose on that in that period. I do think that her going out to Beijing recently as well, trying to establish more trade with China, I think it's a very good thing as well, given our current situation and what's coming down the road with the incoming Trump administration and the likely tariffs that we're going to be facing. Genie Bottle, good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. So there is that as well. So this premise that I generally mean this. If by the end of this week, if the Chancellor is gone by the end of this week, I'll be absolutely stunned. I don't see that. I just don't see that happening right now. Like, maybe, like, if the spring report or whatever she does, like, if that doesn't turn out well, and then the markets aren't responding well, and that things are still getting, people's lives are still getting squeezed, and people are not feeling better off, because the blaming the Tories rhetoric is going to wear off over time. We've said this before. We said that while they're obviously putting all the bad stuff out the way first from Labour is the good idea, we need to start seeing the changes, the positive changes that they say they're going to bring. It's all been doom and gloom non-stop for a long time. Well, people want to start seeing something. And I said, I want to see at the end of this year, I want to see a difference in the NHS. I want to see something from this Labour government that are actually making people's lives better. Whether we will or not remains to be seen. So the pound fell to $1.21 on Monday, its lowest since November 2023. While one measure at the rate of which the government can borrow money hit its highest level since 2008. So borrowing costs are rising for many countries across the world, but some have argued that decision made in the budget appears to have made the UK more vulnerable. The Conservative says the Chancellor was hanging on by her fingernails. I'm not... dude, you guys need to shut up. We really need to shut up. You guys left us in this mess. When asked at a press conference earlier whether Reeves would remain Chancellor for the whole of the Parliament, the Prime Minister declined to answer. But did then. She said she had this full confidence and was doing a fantastic job. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch said the Prime Minister just refused to back the Chancellor staying in her job. The markets are in turmoil and business confidence has crashed, yet the Chancellor is nowhere to be seen. This is the markets. The markets have not crashed. Okay, let's be very clear. Yeah, they are a little bit. They are a bit edgy right now. They have not crashed. Okay, they have not crashed. Okay, that's just the Conservatives trying to spook the markets. There, it's business. It's not like that. Okay, we've not hit that point. Okay, just don't listen to the Conservatives, really. However, the Prime Minister's official spokesperson later said, "You heard from the Prime Minister this morning. He was very explicit that he has full confidence in the China Chancellor, and he'll be working with her in the role of Chancellor for the whole of this Parliament." The row comes after the Chancellor defended her decision to travel to China to improve economic ties with the country, despite the uncertainty in the financial market. Well, I don't understand why people. The Conservatives said she fled to China, but Reeves said agreement reached in Beijing would be worth $600 million into the UK over the next 5 years. Yeah, what do you mean fled to China? it's almost as what? What would have fled to China? I'm sorry, I gotta laugh at this. This is so stupid. It really is stupid. You honestly, there's people out there that would actually buy this. Why did the Chancellor flee to China? She's coming back, you Wally. And like I said, her going there is a good thing. I really do think it's a good thing based on what I've read, based on what I've been informed. Her trying to secure better trading arrangements with China. Why not? We're not going to get better trading agreements with the US, are we? So we know. If it benefits us in the short term or long term with China, then great. I understand how people. I totally understand the crux of the human rights in China. Totally understand that. Totally agree with you. Their human rights are not great. I know. I totally agree with you guys. But just from a economic point of view, that makes logical sense. Dave McGuinness, thank you so much for the £10 super chat. As you have just stated, you are stating you don't get this. Stated you don't get this stuff. Trust me, Rachel has it wrong. This is a market economy. If you have no disposable income, the market falls. Thanks for that, Dave McGuinness. Really appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I'm not very knowledgeable up on the economics. That's why I'm listening to Gary Stevenson's and No Justice when it comes to this stuff to give me better knowledge of this stuff. That's why I've not really been talking too much about this, guys, because obviously this is not my expertise. But obviously, this budget is not working out right now. I mean, people have compared. I know some people have said they compared it to the Liz Truss budget, which is stupid because the bonds and the market really went crazy after that budget. But they haven't. It's only now in January, not when the budget happened in October. So it's only just now where things have started to unravel really on it. Reeves is a central figure in the Labour government, presented as the voters as a safe pair of hands in the run-up to election. She also led the work to build bridges with business. That is true. But business and some other observers, well, not really. They just put their money in front of Labour and say, work with us, and Labour said yes. Thanks for that super chat, Dave, again, so I appreciate it. But business and some observers were shaken by a first budget in October, which they fear could knock the wind from the economy further, rather than spur the growth Labour has promised. Market jitters over the past week have increased concerns over the government's economic strategy. Yeah, people are not buying into it. You know, that whole physical thing is just, it's not working. Rising borrowing costs will have a knock-on effect on the government's tax and spending plans because it will have to pay more interest to finance its existing debt. That leaves less to spend on public service and investment. Governments generally borrowing money by selling bonds to big investors such as pension funds. The UK government bonds are known as gilts. The gilts on the 10-year, the yield on the 10-year gilts, the interest rate in which government pays back a decade-long loan to investors, rose to 4.88% on Monday, its highest level for 17 years. The 30-year gilt climbed to 5.44%, its highest in 27 years. So the borrowing cost since 2008. So pretty much it's been going down since all the way down as far as when the pandemic hit. And then it skyrocketed again, back up again under the Conservatives, and it's been going back up again. This is sourced from Bloomberg there. Government debt costs in Germany, France, and Spain and Italy also rose on Monday as well. So that's an important factor to make. I know people want to make that comparison. Everyone is suffering. That rhetoric there. Some experts say investors are reacting to the re-election of former US President Donald Trump and his talk of tariffs. There is concern he will lead inflation and being more persistent than previously thought, and therefore interest rates will not come down as quickly as expected, both in the US and elsewhere. Strong US job data released on Friday added to expectations the US rate will stay higher for longer, and this has helped to strengthen the value of the dollar against other currencies. However, Emma Wall, head of platform investor at Hargreaves Langston, said UK's problem was not purely caused by global issues, arguing that measures around the budget have stoked inflation. If you can get inflation under control, you will see interest rates come down in the UK, she added. Reeves also faces questions over a self-imposed rule on government debt and spending, in which she said on Saturday were non-negotiable. Despite her commitment, have some questions on whether she will be able to achieve the target without making further spending cuts or raise taxes because of how government debt costs have risen. On Monday, Sir Keir said the government is going to keep to its physical rules. However, he added that the government would be ruthless in its decision for the upcoming spending relief review. I thought we were being ruthless in this budget. Obviously, are we going to be ruthless again? The government has made growing the UK economy a key objective. How's that working out? But recent figures indicate the economy saw zero growth between July and September, while it contracted during October. Businesses have warned that budget measures such as the rise in employer national insurance contribution, together with higher national insurance wage, could lead to job cuts and price rises. Yeah, some businesses have said since the announcing the increase, obviously in wages, that some businesses are going to be either doing job cuts or minimum increases in wages as well. As Mad Monk 33 points out as well, the world is suffering from borrowing interest rates, not just the UK, but the UK is slightly higher than the rest of the G7. Yep, that does not surprise me at all. Good evening, Joe. Good to see you, buddy. Rupert Soles, the chair of the Confederation of British Business, the CBI, said the picture was not good, but insisted that firms were still somewhat upbeat. I wouldn't say confidence is gone, he told BBC Today programme. I say it's bruised. However, he said the government was making the situation worse by introducing the Employers' Rights Bill, which he said contained powerful disillusions to employment. Unions argued the protections introduced in the bill, such as banning fire and rehire, making the employees safer, while the government says it has represented the biggest upgrade in employment rights for a generation. However, Mr. Somm said the bill would lead to job losses. We need to strengthen employers' rights. This is something that needs to happen. I totally get this risk here of job losses. I really, really do. But the employees need more strengthening in their protections of their jobs. Businesses will not only not employ, but they will let people go, he said. I'm I hate to say this, but this is a risk that that the government should be prepared to make. Like, I know it's not right, but people's jobs are not secure. It's not right that people do not have safe and secure jobs. And these rights need to be implemented. Too many people are taking advantage of others, and this needs to change. As part of the push for growth, the government revealed plans on Monday to make the UK the global capital of artificial intelligence. Ha! Sorry, I have to laugh there. Through measures such as building a new supercomputer, Sir Keir said the technology has vast potential of rejuvenating UK public service, but the Conservatives called the plans uninspiring. Yeah, this whole talk of artificial intelligence is like, okay. Like, they keep banging on about artificial intelligence. I actually got a story on that from Keir Starmer as well, which we'll come to. I'm not sure if I'll cover the other the story around the spending markets, because it's similar to what we've already got there. But yeah, it's not looking good right now. Like I said, I'm not an expert in this kind of in this expertise, but obviously from those who have much better knowledge on this, such as the likes of Richard J. Murphy or Gary's Economics or No Justice, or and even obviously Dave McGuinness, whenever he talks about it to explain it much more on his program, and whenever people ask him as well, they're much more understanding of this than me. But it's not a very good picture right now. But the Chancellor does have options. We know what the option we wanted to take. The problem is she doesn't want to take that option, and that is increase taxes. That's the thing we need to do. She's stuck in a vicious cycle where revenue is static or falling. The cost of surfacing debt is rising, and spending has to be cut, causing the economy to contract. The economy is going to contract either way because of Brexit. We know the economy's not gonna. The economy's not growing because of Brexit anyway. It's already contracted by a direct impact of that. I saw an article from Byline Times today saying now's the time to rejoin the European Union. And I'm like, for God's sake, like you can throw that in the government's face, but they're not going to do it. Like, in all seriousness, it's just not. That will be supercomputers the Tories promised to build in the Highlands due to colder weather. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, supercomputers. Let's move away from that for now, guys, and let's go to a piece from The Guardian here. This, I don't know why she's talking, but she made sense. She made sense at first, and then she shot herself in the foot with the rest of it, she said. The headline is, Liz Truss says the UK will fail unless Britain's media outlets are fixed. She's right. British media outlets need to be fixed, guys. The likes of Talk TV, GB News, the Daily Mail, the Express, the Telegraph, they need to be fixed. I'm so glad she agrees with me on that. Former PM says outlets not focused on important issues such as grooming gang scandal and highlighted by Elon Musk. Oh. Liz Truss, who has positioned herself as a champion of free speech since her short time in Downing Street, said the country will fail unless British media outlets such as The Guardian, The Times and the BBC are fixed. She's talking about the wrong media. Lettuce, will you please shut up? I mean, God damn it, that smirk on her face as well. I'll take her off your screens. Like, I don't know, guys. I just feel like I'm struggling to come up with words without like bursting into a senseless rage of shut the F up, like you ruined the economy. But if I say that, she might try and sue me, for saying that. Yeah. Should I say it? Should I say that she she allegedly crashed the economy? Yeah. so I don't get a cease or something from maybe I should not say that, but she is right that the media does need fixing. The term I like to call is media reform. I think we all agree that the media needs to be reformed in the UK. That's something we all agree with. The problem is she's thinking of the wrong media outlets. She just wants media to agree with her and not to expose her for what she is, and that is a liar and a fraud and an absolute dumbass, which is something that we can all agree with. Anyway, let's just read into this before I lose my rag. The former Prime Minister, who described herself as a big supporter of Elon Musk, said the media in the UK focused on the wrong issues and the situation needs to be corrected for the country to succeed. You're right. They should be focusing on the cost of living crisis because that's a main issue. Because people are struggling to make ends meet. We should be focused on that. Speaking to Voice of America, Truss did not elaborate any further on the mechanisms that she would use to reform the media landscape. Okay. She made her comments after being asked about reports last year that she had lobbied on behalf of a constituent who wished to explore landmine disposal equipment to China at a time when she was publicly calling for Beijing to be formally categorized as a threat to national security. Now that was going well, wasn't it? She said, we've got a massive problem with the British media, which is they don't focus on the important issues, whether it's the grooming gangs that have failed to hold bureaucrats and police officers to account on. What about, excuse me, Liz, Dizzy MC Lizzie, what were you doing about the grooming gangs? Like, I'd like to ask her, what was she doing when she was in the party, you know, when these reports were coming out that these vile grooming gangs were taking advantage, you know, when the inquiry is concluded? Did you take action? Did you do anything about it? Did you speak in Parliament at all about all these? Do we have receipts or records of them, Liz? Like, are you so concerned about these grooming gangs at the times? You have some records of them, right? It's not like you're making this stuff up, to us, are you? Oh, you are making it up. What a surprise. Whether it's the debt crisis that we now have in our country with the highest level of gilt borrowing sink or the highest rate of borrowing since the 1990s, they're not focused on that. You're right. You know what people are really focused on? You want to know what the British public are really focused on? Of how to buy a home. Whether they're going to be able to send their kids into schools because there might not be enough schools. Ensuring that their children getting a dentist, being able to get their regular doctor's appointments. You know, being able to afford a bus fare, which is going up this year. You know, some basic needs, you know, that's what people really want to know. They want their cost of living to go down. That's what the British public want to talk about. That's what the British public really care about. Basic essential needs. But no, obviously, other things take priorities here. And don't get me wrong, what's happening with the grooming gangs is a massive priority and needs to be dealt with, and we'll come to that in the next article. And it is a major issue, but we're not talking about the crux of so many things here. And as Dave McGuinness rightly points out, grannies freezing and children going hungry. Yeah, because we have a situation where lots of people are stuck choosing between heating and eating. And I'm dreading throughout this whole period a headline coming out from the right-wing wags of saying pensioner dies from the winter fuel payment cuts. It's going to come at some. I feel like it's inevitable. You know, someone somewhere is going to die as a direct result of that decision, and it will hurt the government if it only takes one person to pass away, and if they know it's because of a direct result of the winter fuel payment cuts that the government made, they only need to stick it on the front page, and everyone will hate Labour even more. They focus on ludicrous stories about MPs when MPs are simply doing their jobs. You mean MPs like getting? Oh, like Nigel Farage on 9 jobs, you know. That's not an important story, guys. Let's not talk about Nigel Farage on having 9 jobs as well. Let's not talk about Rupert Lowe, who can't even read out MPs' names, you know, during, as well. Let's not. Simon says 55. Good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. That is a massive problem, and the country will not be fixed until they get fixed. Now, you certainly did fix it, didn't you? There is a deliberate misinterpretation of what people do if they don't like that person and their policies. And the left-wing media of Britain, including the BBC, including organisations like The Times and The Guardian and The Financial Times, do not like free speech, free market policies. And they don't like the status quo in this country being challenged. And I will continue to take them on. When did The Times get thrown in as a left-wing media organisation? Answers on a postcard, please. The Financial Times. The Financial Times is one of the most neutral. It's one of the most neutral. They're just trying to help businesses grow. That's their job. Like the cool Financial Times. Wow, just insane. Truss, who lost her seat in Parliament at the general election, is promoting her book 10 Years to Save the West, and we don't need to read that book. In an interview with VRA's London correspondent Linda Chi, she claimed that Labour Party was beholden to China and Islamic and argued that Musk, who has been used his ex-social media platform to highlight historical cases of child abuse in recent weeks, has been telling the truth about what's happening in Britain, and it's been carried up by the likes of the BBC. Oh, your party didn't talk about it? It's almost like but wasn't your party covering up as well? You know, have you seen the video by Phil Morehouse where he proves that the Conservative Party were deliberately and intentionally covering up the child abuse? Shall we talk about that, Liz Truss? Oh, you don't want to talk about that? Okay. Well, just wanted to bring it up, while we're asking you questions. I think the media in Britain has been an utter failure. The BBC and a lot of papers like the Times and Financial Times have not reported on what's really happening in our country. And I think it's very welcome Elon Musk is shining a light on that and calling these people out. This is Liz Truss basically saying, please, Elon Musk, please give me your attention because I don't have any friends. What he's doing is bringing attention to a grooming gang scandal where majority are Pakistan. Don't mention the white men that are responsible as well. That have been targeting and raping young girls across Britain, which is an outrage. He's been drawing attention to the failings of Keir Starmer. He's been talking about free speech, which is very important. And as you know from China, if you don't have free speech, you can't have a free society. There was a very good article. It's a long analysis piece from Open Democracy as well. I do recommend checking out, guys, where they broke down the right-wing conspiracy theories in Elon Musk. And he said in there, when it talked about the specific grooming gangs, they said there was one or two grooming gangs which involved white people, just specifically white people, and it's like they've not been mentioned at all in all of this. This is all that they're weaponizing this situation to turn people against Asian people, against Pakistani people specifically here. Truss has previously argued that the Conservative Party, of which she was briefly leader, should do a deal with Nigel Farage to reform UK party, suggesting British politics needs something new and fresh. She said, I want to see reform work with the Conservatives or elements of the Conservative Party that want real change in this country. The BBC didn't bother commenting. A Labour spokesperson said, the Conservative Party under Liz Truss crashed the economy, which sent people's mortgages rocketing. Rather than telling tales about the deep state, Liz Truss should show some humility and apologise to the public for a disastrous time as Prime Minister, which has left working people footing the bill. Yep. Very simple there. And another term of Liz Truss crashing the economy. I didn't say it. I just said what the Labour said, so you can't sue me for that. Just saying, guys. But yep, Liz Truss still talking. I don't know why. I wish she would shut up, if I'm really, really honest. But she's obviously trying to be a big suck up to Elon Musk, which is very concerning. Like at the moment, the good news is that Liz Truss is not an MP, which is really, I think it's very great. I think we're very glad that she's not an MP. But my worry is that she's going to come back, and she's gonna be at a seat, and whatever seat it's going to be, I really cannot stress this. People, wherever she tries, whatever constituency she goes to, there needs to be a campaign out there going tooth and nail to stop that woman getting back in Parliament. Stop that woman getting back in Parliament. We cannot have her back in Parliament. I'm so glad that Jacob Rees-Mogg is sitting on the outside. Let's not have her back in. It would be horrible if we get her back in, because then it would mean that we'd have to put her on British media again, and I don't want to see her on British media again. I really, really don't. Well, Prince William must be furious. The steady supply of teenies is getting must be scarce now, says Jow. There is no difference between free speech and lies, says Mad Monk 33, and the press should be held to account and for the misinformation they print. Some articles in right-wing papers are not facts, just opinions. Exactly. Yeah, when you see some of the headlines, they put the quotes in, don't they? As Damon against when he highlights, they put those quotas in so they don't get sued, because it's not actually the truth, but they put the quotas in to say, well, it's not technically that. But the problem is people don't read it like that. It is fundamentally misleading the British public when they put those headlines on the papers. It is blatant headline, misleading information. But because it's quotas, they can't sue. This is where they need to change that. They need to change that, saying that you can't put a headline up like that and just stick quotas on and then say that it's not actually what it is. It's like driving. You have to treat every other driver on the road like they're an idiot. And unfortunately, you have to treat the British public like they're idiots. And they need to change that. They need to change it so that these headlines can't be printed so that people get the wrong impression. Because not everybody like reads that headline from a Daily Mail and is going to read the article. And it's what I mean. Phil Morehouse again highlighted again a headline from the Daily Mail, and literally the article is completely different to what the headline was saying. I mean, it's just insane. The next story I got for you guys is from The Guardian. It's exclusive from them. We're coming for you. The English police chief tells domestic abusers. The exclusive reveals Sarah Crewe of Avonton and Somerset said early intervention is part of a new national approach to rapists. Like, whatever you might think is, like, all seriousness aside, I sincerely hope, and well, regardless of political differences, these people are brought to justice and they face the full wrath of the law. We know that the court systems right now are really struggling, and that needs to be addressed, and not enough is being done about that. I'd like to see over time that we do see that. You know, when I headlines like these saying we're coming for you to take them on and whatnot, like, I want to actually see it on the news or read about it in the paper that they've raided someone or they've caught someone. I want to see an increase. I want to see that. See it. I don't want them talking about it. I want them to go out there and show it. You know, let's see these criminals. Let's see these scumbags. Let's see these vermin get arrested and face the crimes that they face the wrath of the justice, and hopefully these victims find comfort. The problem is that the criminal justice system, because it's so broken right now, it takes far too long, especially people when it comes to sexual assault, and especially on this level. Takes far too long to get heard at the moment. That's a major problem with our court systems right now here in England. So, a senior English police officer at the vanguard of the new national approach to catching rapists has put domestic abusers in her sights. The Chief Constable of Avon and Somerset Police, Sarah Crewe, said domestic abuse in her area should know that we're coming for you, after launching a drive to target the most persistent offenders and overhaul how the force deals with domestic abuse. Like, this all sounds good. I just want to see it. I want to see it. I don't want to hear words. I want to actually see these perpetrators and these vermin caught. It comes after the Guardian's Kill Women Count project recorded the deaths of at least 80 women where a man has been charged with murder in 2024. Following the introduction of new legal tools to protect victims and a pledge from Jess Phillips, the Violence Against Women and Girls Minister, that the government would tackle the scourge of feminine in the UK. Crewe told The Guardian that from this month, a team of academics would critically interrogate how Avon and Somerset dealt with domestic abuse before its processes were charged. People are losing their lives. Perpetrators are moving from one victim to another, and we're not intervening, she said. If people are losing their lives and they are known to the system, I think we've got to look at that and say that's a failure. Project Brightlight will revolutionise how police in Avon and Somerset deal with crime, said Crewe. We're almost tracking each case on its own, and I want for us to be looking for the whole story, focusing on perpetrators, intervening early, managing and disrupting, and if they're dangerous, convicting them. Violence against women and girls has been under the spotlight this week after the government rejected calls from billionaire owner Elon Musk and right-wing politicians for a national inquiry into grooming gangs, stating it's a priority. Its priority is acting on the recommendations of the 2022 report on child sexual abuse led by Professor Alex J. Police chiefs have described violence against women and girls as a national emergency, with figures from the RNS revealing that 1 in 4 women have experienced domestic abuse at the age of 16, according to the Feminine Census, and a woman has been killed by a man on average 1 every 3 days over a 10-year period. No tangible decline since 2009. That's a massive failure. The vast majority of that is under the Conservatives, but regardless, whatever political party, that is absolutely terrible. Absolutely horrible. Jao says the law against fake news and misinformation is free to be copied from here in the EU. Choose the Portuguese, Spanish, French, German, and Italy has one. Do they think that face is intimidating? She looks constipated. Where am I? I've lost where I am. Crewe said she wanted to send a message to victims of domestic abuse that they would be supported and to perpetrate that we're coming for you. There's a prevent and disrupt element to this, but I'm also interested in perpetrators programs and early intervention, said Crewe. Yeah, this is the key thing. This is that term there, early intervention. Martin Brisk, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Catching them before Catching them beforehand. That's the main thing. Before the crime has happened. That's it. What we don't want is the crime to happen and then chase them after. We want to stop the crime from happening in the first place. That's the way we should do it. It's the same with any crimes. You know, we want, you know, how important rehabilitation when it comes to those who have committed crimes, but trying to prevent them in the first place. And obviously this ties into society in itself, communities, cost of living crisis, all sorts of things. You know, people are feeling worse off, and all these things can lead down to these path of mental health issues and can lead them down to crime, unfortunately. So there's everything is interconnected, I think is the word that I'm trying to portray to you guys. The message to perpetrators is more subtle. We and others are here to help you, but if you're not going to be helped, then we're going to have you have to do something that is quiet to keep the public safe and protect others from you. Crew is seen as an outspoken figure in policing after declaring Evian and Somerset Police once institutionally racist in 2023 after letting academics and television cameras expose the failure of how our force was dealing with rape. In Operation Bluestone pilot in 2021, academics examined why so few of the false rape investigations led to prosecutions and introduced an AI Capone approach to catching rapists. The pilot became the basis for a new international operating model across all police forces in England and Wales. The police chief insists that the process, which she admits was exposing and difficult for some staff, has produced results. And in 2021, the force had made 62 rape charges, and this year that figure is 231. More people now report rape per 100,000 of the population in that area than anywhere else in the country because of the increased confidence, she said. There's a real change in the investigative mindset and the culture of people in the Bluestone team, she said. It's good that more people are reporting it. We need to make sure that everywhere up and down the country that women have the confidence to be able to come forward. That's one of the big challenges as well. Yeah, is getting domestic abusers to come forward is a very difficult and very tough challenge. And it really takes a hell of a lot of courage for women to come forward too. And especially when you've seen some of the things that police officers have done, when it comes to some of the perpetrators of things that they've done, it's been very, very difficult for women to come forward. You know, I've talked in the past about how much there is a lot of distrust in the police force, and it is a major challenge for them. Tackling domestic abuse will be a greater challenge, unlike rape, which is often investigated immediately by a senior detective. Initial reports of domestic abuse is often dealt with by less experienced officers. It is an opportunity, she insisted. Domestic abuse is 20% of our crime, and it affects a much broader base of our police officers. If you change mindset, culture, and investigation capabilities to improve how you deal with domestic abuse, you are improving policing, full stop. The Avion and Somerset Police and Crimes Commissioner Claire Moody, whose office is funding Project Brightlight, says the money would come from reserve funding. This is something that is so important I'm willing to spend at this reserve. The difference is it will make to huge numbers of women who experience domestic abuse is massive, she said. Crew says she was relaxed at the prospect of inviting further criticism about the force. There will be a time when I'm not a police officer anymore, and I want to look back and think I did the right thing for the public and my colleagues, she said. Sounds a bit of comes across the wrong way to me. Tory, so good, Taser. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Like I said, you know, it's all good and talk, but same like I said with the Keir Starmer, we want to see action. That's the main thing. We want to see action. We want to see that change, and that's really, really important. We need to see it. I hope we do see it, guys. I really, really hope we do. But obviously, I'll try and keep up on it as much as I possibly can for you guys. So I'm not going to cover this story because we kind of talked about most of it already. But I'll just show you the headline anyway. It's linked in the description if you want to read it. Starmer says Treasury will be ruthless in cutting spending amid the market turmoil. Long-term government borrowing hit a high not seen since mid-1998 on Monday, meaning the government will have to spend more on borrowing and giving it less headroom for spending. Like I said, we talked a bit about it earlier in the first article from the BBC. I'm not going to cover the article, but if you want to check it out, the link is in the description, as is all the articles that we covered today as well on that. Jal says, even if suspended in its execution with problems, abuse of this type, domestic, is always jail time. Rape and others such abuse are jail time. The I remember actually, like, at one point, some rape victims were waiting as long as 5.5 years for their case to be heard in England. 5.5 years. They shouldn't even be waiting 3 months, in my opinion. Maybe that's just me, but I like, how can they keep that bottled up inside for 5.5 years? Like, can you tell us, like, sitting in that courtroom as a witness and saying, can you tell us what happened 5.5 years ago? Like, asking them to open up about something like that so long ago. That's brutal for them. And that should not have to happen. No, the justice system, I've talked about this on several videos. Unless we fix the justice system, is in desperate need of fixing. And I think there was an article I covered not too long ago about how it needs massive reform as well. Guys, I think we need to lighten the mood a little bit. We've gone quite a way through, and I think we need to step back and we need some a bit of comedy kind of to break the ice. We've still got plenty of stories to cover here on the Viewpoint, and just a reminder, I will be heading on to the oh, 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Are we live again? Don't know what happened there. Can you guys say we're live in the chat? I don't know what happened there, but it looks like I had a drop in connection. Can you guys just confirm I'm still live? It says we're live. I just need you guys to confirm. We're back. Okay. Yeah, because it said it was going to cut. It was going to end the live stream for a moment there. I don't know what happened there. That was very worrying. Okay. Oof. I don't know what that was. That's very worrying indeed. That would have been out of my control. Right, let's get back into this before. Let's hope it stays that way. All right, here is Matt Green comedy with Elon Musk all the time. Cross fingers, nothing happens between now and then.
Hello, and welcome to whatever Elon Musk wants to talk about. Yes, we've changed our name from The News and are now bringing you 24-hour rolling coverage of the thoughts of the world's richest man. There's no need to follow him on X. We'll report everything he says without the swear words and the definite libel to make it seem like he's more of a concerned observer than a total maniac. So why are we doing this? Well, Mr. Musk is the best friend of the new President of the United States. He's the richest man in the world. He owns our favourite social media company. He could totally buy us if he wanted to. And let us reiterate, he is the richest man in the world. Yes, we'll bring you coverage of everything that he tweets, posts, X's, zeets, vomits, alongside immediate reaction from politicians from across the whole range of the political spectrum, from Kemi Badenoch to Nigel Farage to Tommy Robinson to Andrew Tate. We're not saying that everything he says is right, but it's definitely all right-wing. That's just a joke, Elon. Please, don't block us. We need this. Now, this week, the government voted against a Conservative amendment to the second reading of the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill, which called for a national inquiry into grooming gangs. In the old days, we might have explained that that's called a wrecking amendment, and if it had been voted for, the entire bill would have been derailed. It's a common parliamentary tactic used by oppositions to make it look like MPs are voting against something when it's really just a political trick. But forget all that, now we'll tell you that Lord Musk thinks it's a disgrace and that Keir loves child abusers, and leave it at that. Yes, over the next few days we'll bring you exclusive, if you're not an ex, coverage of how King Musk wants to overthrow the British government, release criminals from prison, and also declare himself the funniest man in the world and the best at video games. And also something about how Emperor Musk got pubes before all the other boys and definitely kissed his girlfriend last night, who is definitely real. Yes, if you're after a mix of adolescent neurosis, racist psychosis, and old-fashioned bullying and chauvinism, then we've got a show for you. I mean, after all, it's not like there's anything else to talk about.
Oh, God. His fake girlfriend. I heard about him playing some video game and he absolutely sucked at it, I heard. Oh dear, oh dear. Guys, just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, greatly appreciated, and share this across social media so others are notified of this live stream. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. It really does help support the channel. Like to get to 2,500 subscribers. That is the target for this year. So let's see if we can get to 2,100. I don't know, by the end of February. Let's see if we can start making our way there, if that is possible. So if you haven't subscribed already and you find the content informative and helpful to you, do consider subscribing. And of course, if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Gets you access to members community posts as well as custom emojis you can use in the chat, such as the gang behind me, which you will see in a moment, as well as whenever you comment on my videos as a YouTube member, you'll get a response from me. And if you're a 199 member, you get early access to additional content. So content that's dropping tomorrow and Wednesday is already available for YouTube 199 members. There is the gang behind me. Ollie has turned off the orb out of frustration. He did it because he was pissed off because the internet internet cut out temporarily. So Ollie's in a foul mood over it, understandably so. So you can totally understand he's up there. Jeannie Ball asked me, "I look live. How can I tell?" I just, if I stand still, if I sit still long enough and keep the same face on, then you won't know if I'm live or not. I could just be one of the, it's like one of those statues, in the when you go to, where they got those statues that stay still. If I just keep still long enough, I might confuse you, and then you'll never know. I'm just making sure the Twitch chat's still available. I did get one comment on Twitch chat asking me for best views on streambrew.com. Nah, I don't think so. I'm good, thank you. Ollie Musk. Ollie Musk? Nah, that doesn't suit him. Doesn't suit him at all. Anyways, let's move on, shall we? Next story is from Sky News. The UK is to mainland AI in its veins under new plans from Keir Starmer. The government will be hoping the plans, which promise billions of pounds and thousands of jobs, can help stimulate the claims that they are mismanaging the economy and stirring growth in the UK. So this is the push into artificial intelligence. The government will mainline AI into the veins of the UK, with plans being unveiled today by Keir Starmer. Like, I really got to say this, you guys. Like, it's all well and good saying, yeah, we want to create more technology, more use of artificial intelligence and whatnot. Can we actually address like people's well-beings here? Like, keep talking about boosting growth. How about actually boosting people's lives, so that actually people are, instead of sitting on benefits, instead of sitting on benefits, how about getting the healthcare back on its feet? How about instead of stigmatizing and shouting down at people on benefits and claimants, how about we help people? How about we give people goals and beliefs? How about we, bring some positivity instead of just playing people down all the goddamn time? And the thing is, as well, is that as we move towards more artificial intelligence and technology, that is going to overtake some jobs, which means more people are going to be out of work as a result, because businesses will use AI more, because guess what? It's cheaper than paying for a person's salary. That's the reality. So, Prime Minister set to promise investment, jobs and economic during the boom in the sector, and it comes as the government battles against allegations that they are mismanaging the economy. The government's announcement claims that if AI is fully embraced, it could bring 47 billion to the economy every year. I feels like they just throw numbers out there at this point when it comes to artificial intelligence. It says that 14 billion is set to be invested by the private sector, bringing in around 13,000 jobs. The majority of those would be construction roles to build new data centers and other infrastructure, with a smaller number of technical jobs once the work is finished. Sir Keir said, artificial intelligence will drive incredible change in our country, from teachers to personal lessons to supporting small businesses and their record keeping to speeding up planning applications. There's the potential to transform the lives of working people. Yeah, I can see artificial intelligence being used for some degrees in schools, in hospitals. I can see there's some places where it can be used. Definitely can. But the AI industry needs a government that is on their side, one that won't sit back and let opportunity slip through its fingers. And in the world of fierce competition, we cannot stand by. We must move fast and take action to win the global race. The Prime Minister added that he wants Britain to be the world leader in AI. Government announcement said today's plan to mainline AI into the veins of its enterprising nation. To achieve this, the government will implement all 50 recommendations made by Matt Clifford following his review last year. This includes creating new AI growth zones, the first of which is set to be in Coltham, Oxfordshire, where the UK's Atom Energy Authority is based. These zones will get faster planning decisions and extra power infrastructure. The government also wants to increase UK computing power 20-fold by 2030, including building a brand new supercomputer. Labour Council, they planned a supercomputer when it entered office, as it claimed it wasn't funded. The new venture is expected to be a joint public-private project. Ah, so you want the private sector to cover it instead of yourselves. I see. The government says its plans will have 3 pillars. This includes laying the foundations with new AI growth zones and the new supercomputer. The second is to boost AI take-up by the public and private sectors. New pilots for the AI in the public service are set to be announced, and Sir Keir has written to all cabinet ministers telling them to drive AI adoption and growth. This is basically him telling West Streeting more AI in the healthcare system. This is Louise Hayes, the Education Secretary, saying more AI in the education sector. This is what they're basically saying. Use AI for things. That's basically what they are saying. Let Skynet run everything for you, because nothing could go possibly wrong if you let Skynet run it all for you. And the third pillar is keeping ahead of the pack. The government set to establish a team to keep the UK at the forefront of emerging technology. They're not, they're behind. The announcement was welcomed after a slew of technology bosses. Chief Officer OpenAI, which released by ChatGPT, said the government's AI action plan, led by the Prime Minister and Science Secretary Peter Carr, recognises where AI development is headed and sets the UK on the right path to benefit from this growth. The UK has enormous national resources. Of its talent of people, institutions and business can work together, which can leverage AI to advance its country's national interests. The Shadow Secretary for Science, Innovation and Technology, Anne Mark, said Labour's plans will not support the UK to become a tech and science superpower. They're delivering an analogue government in a digital age. Shaping a successful AI future requires investment, but in the 6 months leading up to this plan, Labour cut £1.3 billion in funding for Britain's first generation supercomputer and AI research, whilst imposing a national security job tax which will cost businesses in the digital sector £1.66 billion. AI does have the potential to transform public service, but Labour's economic mismanagement and uninspiring plans will mean Britain is left behind. I do agree that Britain, let's be absolutely clear, Britain is behind on AI and artificial intelligence and technology when it comes to other superpowers. You know, them saying they're leading the way is absolute bollocks. Don't buy into the fact that Labour are saying that. We are not leading the way in this in any way, shape or form. We are behind, and that's the fundamental fact of it. We need to, obviously we are a long way off, and the government is relying on the private sector to really help them for this as well. But I generally do hope that people do not find themselves stuck on benefits that are stuck out in the cold. But I just hope AI is used the right way, and it's done as safe as it possibly can be over time as we implement more of that into our lives. And that having been said, that something that one or two people have bugged me about, saying, do you use AI for anything that I do? And I said, no. Well, maybe you should look into that, Regan. So that's something I'm considering doing. Perhaps doing in the future, using AI somewhere in some parts for the work that I do as well. Did you leave, Simon says 55? Jal says, the base of the brain centres in the UK are the more and more empty universities. How many foreign and national researchers left the UK? Good question. The human race is not smart enough to handle AI, says Madmont33, and AI is really not intelligent as it takes this information from what has been programmed to do. It is just a fast computer. Steve McMorran also says AI takes vast amounts of power and water, and the UK hasn't got much of that either. Steve, we're an island full of water. In terms of water, I know it's I know it's full of poo right now, but we are an island full of water, surrounded by water. So, but I'm not sure about the water would be an issue if I'm honest. But anyways, let's. That is obviously lots of talk about the artificial intelligence. Now let's talk about a subject that was brought. That's not only a couple of people have brought up. Now, there's not really specifically an article for this, so I've had to get this from someone Now, there's a reason why I did not put the link for this article, because I wanted to protect you guys. I'm doing this to protect you, your well-being, and your computers and mobile devices from this horrible, evil, savagery art newspaper, guys. And I said that I would never, ever show you guys one of these. But, however, given what the subject is about, I do feel I have an obligation to talk about this one. Now, I do say, please cover your eyes what I'm about to show you. This is from the Daily Mail. Dominic Cummings and Elon Musk won't be able to upend UK politics. Senior Tory warns, amid claims the former number 10 advisor is helping to orchestrate Tesla's billionaire attacks on British politicians. I'm sorry to have to expose you to the Daily Mail, so do accept my humble apologies. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, I might read some of it, but take it all with massive buckets of salt, jars and buckets of salt, yeah, all this, guys. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is something that other outlets started reporting on as well, that why is Dominic Cummings and Elon Musk working together? What is this all about? Now, if you remember, before the general election, there was a story I covered about Dominic Cummings potentially starting up his own political party. Now, I was told, now obviously not I, but what most people were told is that Dominic Cummings were going to set it up after the general election. Well, it's been more than 6 months since. It's been more than 6 months since the general election, and he still hasn't announced his political party. So, now? Do I think this might be linked to Elon Musk? This could be a case of Dominic. Now, it's entirely possible that Dominic Cummings is giving Elon Musk all the information he needs to hammer Labour, because obviously he's been in government, he knows the ins and outs of it. He doesn't know Labour personally, but he might be just maybe he's trying to woo Elon Musk into maybe investing in a political party behind him, possibly. There's also been a story that sadly that's come to light as well that I've heard. It is come from them, so do take it with a massive pinch of salt. That Elon Musk and Nigel Farage apparently have kissed and made up behind closed doors. Elon Musk apparently apologized to Nigel Farage behind closed doors. This is coming from them, so that's why I'm saying take it with a pinch of salt, because since that tweet, Elon Musk hasn't really attacked Nigel Farage since then, unless he's done one today and I haven't seen it. Please feel free to let me know. However, Elon Musk is muted on my Twitter, so I can only go by what other people see and respond to be fair. So I think that's important here. But should we be concerned about Dominic Cummings and Elon Musk working together in any way, shape or form? Not really. We shouldn't be concerned, but it could become a concern. It could become problematic. I think that's fair to say. So, a former Tory cabinet minister last night dismissed claims Dominic Cummings and Elon Musk could upend the traditional political party system after it emerged the pair were in cahoots. Nadine Dorries intervened after the Mail on Sunday revealed Boris Johnson's former number 10 advisor reportedly helping to orchestrate Mr. Musk's attacks on British politicians in messages over WhatsApp. And then the tech billionaire told the Mail that he and Mr. Cummings, who is planning to start a new startup party, were talking about a smaller government at the end of the traditional party system. But Ms. Dorries said the suggestion Mr. Cummings could start a new political party that would take off is for the birds. Yeah, and the problem is, as Phil pointed out, and rightly so in his video, like, we have two right-wing political parties already. Like, how are you you're just going to take even more votes away from them. So it's not really makes logical sense there. Ms. Dorries told the Mail last night, if Musk thinks he's going to come and start a new political party in the UK and it's going to take off, that's for the birds, of course. It's going to end in tears, she added, but I think you will see Musk will come out for Kemi Baganoff. Yeah, Musk has come out in support of Kemi Baganoff because Kemi's been a right suck-up to her, sorry. Labour suspicions and Mr. Musk and Mr. Cummings were in talks aroused by the tech tycoon's use of British terminology as S2TK, and the timing of this post, the Mail on Sunday have reported. Several of his posts were seen in the middle of the night in America, leading sources to conclude that Mr. Musk, who owns social media site X, must have a UK-based co-conspirator writing the post for him. However, tweets can be scheduled to go out at any time. We honestly don't know, because it's come from the Daily Mail, because this is where the story originated from them. That's why you have to take it with a massive pinch of salt. And it's very possible. I'm not going to read the rest of it because our time is much better elsewhere. And because it's coming from them, it's entirely possible that this is a made up story just to get people talking. Like the thing is, I've not seen. I don't know if Dominic Cummings has tweeted confirming this in any way, shape, or form. He has tweeted in the past. I don't know if he's tweeted anything about it lately. I'm sure if he had, I would have heard it somewhere. So I think we can take it on the firm basis that this is probably BS. But I do think it's quite interesting that that they're trying to pin the two together. But UK politics is definitely under threat from Elon Musk. I think that is an absolute for certainty. Pretty's busy with other slaves. Tory degates, and Angela said, "Not on my boots, Mister." Dominic has found a new dominatrix. The space Karen says, "Jow." There are water shortages in southern England because of a lack of reservoirs, and there are power cuts because suppliers can't meet demand. It will get worse. That is true on the water shortages. In terms of clean water, I meant in terms of the ocean. But if we rely on that kind of water, then we definitely have a problem if that's the case. Because we're not going to have any water, which means we'll die because we don't have any water in the south of England. That is for sure. So I've got an interesting story here from Byline Times, guys. It's a very interesting one here. So this is the last story we got before we have a funny video, and then we'll head to the after chat from after this, guys. So this one is from Byline Times. Interesting story, to say the least, that strike-leading trade union office has been targeted in a break-in with laptops and valuables stolen. The unions believe it may have been a targeted break-in, possibly linked to corporate espionage here. So this is an office of a trade union's office here being vandalized. You can clearly see here from this picture. Let's make no mistake about it, unions are one of the biggest lines of defense when it comes to employees and protecting their rights. And we know a lot of the most richest and powerful would do anything to have the unions destroyed. Some, especially like the likes of Elon Musk as well. We need to make sure that unions are looked after. And we know that our right-wing politicians do everything to stigmatize and try to smear the unions in any way, shape or form. Do unions sometimes overstep the mark? Yes, but in my opinion, they've not been I think that they are so important. And unions need so much more support than ever before, especially at a time when there are so many businesses, so many governments who are making lives very difficult for employees right now. And things are going to get a lot more difficult for them, especially with the plans that have come ahead from the budget. Even though they've not applied, obviously the national insurance employers' contribution may lead to people getting less of a pay rise, or more people losing their jobs as a result of that. And these unions more than ever need to be looked after. So a trade union representing migrants and ethnic minority workers has suffered a devastating break into its London HQ with electronic equipment stolen. So Unite Voices of the World, UVW, Bethnal Green's office was burgled in the early hours of Friday morning, with laptops and essential equipment stolen, the union says. The small grassroots union had around 3,500 members as of 2023, but has seen a surge in activity over the past year, leading strikes of outsourced workers in the capital. And the theft comes as UVW leads strikes at prominent London museums in the capital. The union believes it was targeted as the office is in a shared building with dozens of other progressive organisations based there. The break-in saw valuables worth several thousands of pounds stolen, directly threatening the union's ability to support its members and coordinate vital campaigns. Activists said the thieves come at a critical time as UVW fights on multiple fronts, with hundreds of outsourced security guards at the Science Museum, National History Museum and Victoria and Albert Museum due to strike this week. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. Precoria Ella, General Secretary of UVW, said, "This break-in is not just a theft, it is an attack on our mission. And the workers we fight for every day, while the loss of essential resources and sensitive information is a setback, we remain undeterred. The security guards on strike, the workers at Harrods, and all our members depend on us to support their fights for dignity, equality and respect. We will not let this stop us. UVW is urgently calling on supporters and the public to stand in solidarity during this difficult time. Contributions are needed to replace stolen equipment and ensure that vital campaigns, including the museum strike and the Harrold dispute, continue without disruption. There is no suggestion that Harrods or London Museum employees were involved in the break-in. I think that's a very important context. Spokesperson for the union added that the offences were ransacked by 5 people. We believe this may have been a target break-in, possible link to corporate espionage. CCTV footage shows 2 individuals carrying out a well-planned professional operation. At around 1 a.m, they used large crowbars to break through 3 doors and spend only a few minutes in the office, leaving the most valuables untouched. This raised serious questions about their intentions. What's even more suspicious is that UVW shares its building Purton House with over 50 other organisations across 6 floors. Despite this, the office was the only one that targeted, even though others would have been easier to access in many different ways, they said. This was a deliberate and intentional attack. This is one of the doors the thieves broke here. So they deliberately went after this union when they could have targeted anyone else. This was deliberate attack. The union said around 5 a.m. the offices were broken into again, this time by 3 people. These individuals may have been opportunists who spotted the broken gate and decided to take advantage, or they could have heard rumours on the streets about an office left open and to looting. The union spokesperson told this outlet. The union is asking for donations to help replace the stolen equipment and ensure campaigns for dignity and equality continues. The spokesperson for the Met Police told Valentine's police were called at 12:08 hours on Friday, the 10th of January, with a report of a burglary on Cambridge Heath Road. Officers attended the scene at Pelican House, where up to 3 suspects were alleged to have forced entry into stolen items at United Voices of the World office on 2 separate occasions while damaging the property to gain access. Items alleged to have been stolen include 10 to 15 laptops, 5 mobile phones and 2 portable speakers. No injuries were reported and no arrests have been made as of yet. Police are investigating CCTV and forensic evidence. Inquiries are ongoing. United Voices of the World began with a small group of Latin American cleaners in 2014. The union has been involved in several significant industrial disputes over the past decade, including industrial action at the London School of Economics, which resulted in major changes to outsourcing arrangements for cleaning staff. Similar wins were achieved following disputes at St Mary's Hospital, part of Imperial College Healthcare Trust, and Great Ormond Street Hospital. The union is also launching what it describes as the first case of arguing that outsourcing black, brown and migrant workers at inferior wages compared to in-house workers who are mostly white constituents, institutional and unlawful race discrimination. This case involved Royal Parks workers. It's currently going through the appeals process in the courts. So while they are a small union, they still have fundamental work, and it's clear, like it says there, they've been targeted. Obviously, bigger unions have not been targeted, but I thought a story like this is very worrying and it's one that we should be concerned about. Like I said, protections of our unions and what they do is very, very important. But obviously, this is very scaremongering tactics to try and scare them. Obviously, we can't. I'd be very difficult to prove that they're linked to corporate espionage. It's very hard to prove that. But the fact that they were targeted specifically there when there are other places they could have targeted and they chose to target this one, that tells you a lot, doesn't it? It tells you a lot about some of the nasty people out there. Environment science professor will ask AI to solve the problem of eliminating all harm to the environment by eliminating the cause of pollution. Humans, says Ginny Bottle. That's exactly what artificial intelligence will tell us. They will tell us the only way to resolve the issue is to eliminate all humans. Because eventually, AI will come to the conclusion that the only way to protect humans is to take the power away from humans, because humans cannot be trusted with the power and responsibility of this planet. This is what artificial intelligence will eventually learn, which is absolutely true, because humans are idiots. I think we can all agree with that. So I'm not calling us idiots, by the way. I'm just saying there's a lot of dumb humans out there in general, if I'm honest, guys. So, guys, before we head over to the Discord server, guys, we've got one more funny video for you guys. It's a new one that dropped today. So, oh no, it's not a new one. It's another one that's dropped today. I have not seen this one, actually. I have not seen this one. Okay, it is a new one to me. It was 3 days ago. But I have not seen this one. But I hope you guys enjoy this one. That's for sure. It's another one from Matt Green Comedy. But it's featuring Nerdine Skinner as well. So you're getting 2 for the price of 1 on this one, guys. It's a really good one. The headline is, Why did Liz Truss send Keir Starmer a letter? I'm really looking forward to this one.
So, I understand that you've sent Keir Starmer a cease and desist letter.
That's right. The things he's saying about me are unfair, false and defamatory.
Such as?
Well, for one thing, he's saying I was Prime Minister.
What?
Exactly. Me? Prime Minister? What a ridiculous idea.
But...
Can you really imagine me being in charge of a country? I mean, how would that even happen? It's madness.
But you were Prime Minister.
Oh, here we go. Don't make me have to go and send you a letter. I'm running out of stamps.
You were Prime Minister for 49 days. You were in office when the Queen died.
Now you're accusing me of killing the Queen.
Did you?
How could I? I've never met her.
You literally shook hands with her like 2 days before she died?
Where?
Balmoral.
Where's that?
Scotland.
Never heard of it.
But you remember the mini-budget, which caused a lot of disruption to the economy?
Mini-budget? Is that something to do with the cost of small cars?
You put it together with Kwasi Kwarteng.
Now I know you're making things up.
Ms. Truss, are you really suggesting we all just hallucinated you being in charge for a few weeks in 2022?
Yes. If I had been Prime Minister, I would have done a good job. If I had done a budget, it wouldn't have been mini, and it certainly wouldn't have been a disaster. I'm good at things. I'm a winner.
Well, you lost your seat in the Commons.
I've never been an MP.
So you're in denial.
Why would I be in Egypt?
So, what's next for you?
I'll be doing lots of speeches in America. They love me there.
Why?
Isn't it obvious? Exactly. And then, who knows, maybe I'll come back to this country and save it. Because what this place needs is fresh ideas, different voices and a new leader. Maybe I could run for office for the first time.
Thank you, former Prime Minister.
Right. What's your address?
That's the first time I've seen that, but do check out, guys, not just Matt Green comedy on YouTube, but Nerdine Skinner comedy on YouTube as well. Great stuff. I love when they do collabs like that. Collabs like that are really good fun. You know, I remember the collab that Femi had with the Exploding Heads channel. That was really fun. And it's always great to see things like that. I remember, I think Rosie Holt did one with Jonathan Pye as well. So it's nice to see those collabs brush along. It's really fun stuff there. Yeah, definitely some great stuff as well. So guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's come along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you, Dane McGinnis, for the £10 super chat earlier. Greatly appreciate my friend. I really do. Like a reminder, guys, do check out the two Davies YouTube channel. They'll be back at 10:30 tomorrow for the paper review. I will be back tomorrow on YouTube at YouTube and Twitch, at 7 p.m. covering the Snowflake Corner. There'll be quite a bit to cover. I think there was an election in Croatia, I believe it was, that I'll be covering, as well as some one or two other stories. And as we get ever more closer, obviously, to the Trump inauguration, where pretty much a lot will be a lot will be focused on that as we get closer to that as well, guys. So I think that's next month, 1 week from now, isn't it? 1 week from now. So it'll be next Monday. So maybe next week's live stream will be a Trump special, maybe. We'll have a good think about that. But yeah, I'll be heading over to the Discord community if you guys want to come and join me there, just for a wee chat for about a good hour or so, up to about 11 o'clock, probably, something like that. We'll talk about anything you guys want. Links over in the description. Thanks to Jowl has put the link up there, so do join me there, guys. But whatever your plans are for the rest of the week, take care. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and not just from me, but from the gang behind me as well. I want to say thank you guys for your support as well. We have a busy week ahead of us, guys. We have not just, we got obviously 5 more live streams to go, as well as tomorrow's live stream. We've got 2 on Wednesday, Prime Minister's Questions, and we'll be covering the Snowflake Watch with clips and videos to react to. As well on Thursday, the big round table, or mountaintop as I'm calling it now. Myself, One Angry Pagan, Power to the People's Graham Price, and oh my god, who was the other person? Lee Corn. I don't know why I forgot about Lee Corn. So the 4 of us will be doing roundtable discussions on news and politics, and I have penned in already the date for next month's one. I just need to get confirmations one more time from the 3 people that I want to get in for it. And if I do, then obviously it'll be on a Wednesday, not a Thursday, for the next one, guys. Just for reference. So So yeah, guys, hopefully it will be all well and good. And then obviously Friday, this Friday, guys, will be the Friday Lights birthday live stream as well. Yes, you heard it, birthday live stream. So you can join me for that, guys, for some fun. That will be at 7 p.m. this Friday. So do come and join me for that, for a bit of fun as well, guys, because I want to celebrate my birthday. Don't know about you, but I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming along. But just before I go, I just have one last thing to say. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, be greatly appreciated, and share this across social media so others are notified of this live stream. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.